Twitter is going after Markiplier for something that he did 5 years ago. Hello people, KeidBoi here, and welcome back to another episode of Twitter is Terrible. Like the video and your house right now will transform into this house. Also, please subscribe because we're trying to hit 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're getting super close, but so is the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, this all started whenever Markiplier uploaded a video titled, "I will start an OnlyFans." And though there was some controversy regarding this specific video, that's not what we're talking about today. Instead, this video somehow sparked up people talking about something that happened 5 years ago. Also, if you're curious what's going on with Markiplier starting an OnlyFans, well, he's actually doing it all in good faith and is just trying to raise money for a charity. And no, he's not posting anything weird on there. It's more just exclusive content. Anyways, this was the video that basically got Twitter talking about Markiplier because everyone was like, oh my god, he's starting OnlyFans. Yeah, that's what they said. And this is whenever some Twitter users began to bring up something that happened years ago. We all know PewDiePie. He still is the most subscribed solo content creator. I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold that position, but he's at the #1 spot. Only people above him are corporations. Anyways, just around 5 years ago, PewDiePie was playing PUBG, and he was on a bridge. And then he said a bad word. A really bad word. Hard R and everything. So once that happened, people were trying to cancel and deplatform PewDiePie. There was a huge crowd of people who said he was extremely racist and they didn't want him on YouTube anymore. Anyways, this all eventually blew over. PewDiePie apologized. He said it was an honest mistake, and most people accepted his apology. Then just a little bit further down the timeline, PewDiePie made a video where he paid random people on Fiverr to do random things. One of these things was to get a bunch of children to hold a sign that says something that I honestly can't even say on YouTube, but it was something against Jewish people that was not very good at all. PewDiePie since took the video down, and also he got a lot of punishment from this. He got kicked out of his network. He used to have a YouTube Red series, which if you guys don't know, YouTube Premium used to be called YouTube Red. So anyone with a YouTube Red subscription would have been able to watch this series that PewDiePie made. It was called Scare PewDiePie, and YouTube actually canceled this series with him after this happened. And on top of all that, tons of people were really mad at him. His explanation though was that the Fiverr gig said something like, "We will put whatever you want on a sign." So he just thought of the worst thing possible to see whether or not they'd actually put whatever you want on a sign. And well, they did. Anyways, this too was like 4 years ago. PewDiePie already dealt with all the repercussions of doing this. He also apologized and deleted the video. And I mean, it was 4 years ago. Like, this is over and done with. But anyways, what does Twitter decide to do about this 4 years later? Do they go after PewDiePie again and like say, why does he still have a platform? Ah! No, actually, in fact, they instead go after PewDiePie's friend, who has done literally nothing wrong at all. Yeah, that's Twitter for you. So whenever all this went down, Markiplier made a video somewhat defending PewDiePie, more so just speaking his mind on what he thinks about cancel culture as a whole. In the video, he mentions that PewDiePie is as human as all of us, and you need to look at him as such. He talks about how making mistakes is a very human thing to do, and how we should treat people like they're humans. Ironically enough, Twitter does exactly the opposite of what Markiplier says here, and they attempt to cancel him years later, like I said. Markiplier defended PewDiePie's repeated anti-Semitism and blackness, and I no longer feel comfortable supporting him. However, if you do, that is perfectly fine. Just know who you support. Good night. If I could stomp on a Twitter profile, I would stomp on this one. If you genuinely think PewDiePie is actually and anti-black, like genuinely, you're actually a sheep. This is literally the type of person to believe every single thing TMZ has ever said. Yes, what PewDiePie said was bad. We know it was bad. He knows it was bad. It was also over 5 years ago, and he apologized for all of this and suffered the repercussions of saying all these things and doing all these things over 5 years ago. 5 years is a lot. I bet you that that's more than this whole entire Twitter user's lifetime, okay? I don't know what more you could possibly want out of PewDiePie. He did everything he needed to do. He has obviously moved on from all of this, and you too need to move on from all of this. Twitter probably finally realized they can't cancel PewDiePie, so they moved on to one of his old friends, Mark. That's exactly what they did. No matter what we say, PewDiePie just keeps uploading and doesn't care. It's almost like he can mature and and move on from things, but we can't. Let's instead go after Markiplier, who is like literally the angel of YouTube. He does nothing bad. This dude has a clean ass record. PewDiePie deserves it, but Markiplier didn't even really defend PewDiePie, and he explained this on his Tumblr. It's so clear that people like you have never watched a PewDiePie video in your life. That's what I'm saying. These people just hear the news, hear the main drama that's going on, and they don't do any of their own research. They don't hear any other point of views. Just whatever they're told initially is always 100% true to them. So you guys know how this all happened just about 5 years ago, the initial thing, the Markiplier video, all of that. Well, funny enough, Markiplier actually did already respond to all of this. Before this tweet was even made, he already responded to this. He responded 5 years ago. No joke. There's a Tumblr post saying, "Hey, at Markiplier, you say you're not above criticism, right? Well, here's some words, please." And of course, this person is referring to the video that Markiplier made, somewhat defending PewDiePie. Markiplier says, "Sure. The quest against bigotry and hate is a goal that I actively encourage. However, in the fight, I see people losing sight of what connects us all. Because I didn't talk about what you wanted me to talk about, my entire message must have been invalid, wondering, and I must also be a bigot. But just because it wasn't what you were looking for doesn't mean there wasn't something to learn on both sides. I can see that you don't like me, and I'm fine with that. I truly am, and I'm fine if you hate Felix too. That's the honest truth. But my message wasn't about liking everyone you disagree with. I only encourage you to see a fellow human for the entire person that they are. The main point of my video was that it's so easy to label people because a label is a convenient, easy to consume description of a person's entire existence. And know that I'm not saying people can't be a bigot or a racist or a Nazi or a sexist, but understand that when you apply these labels recklessly, you gloss over the entirety of who a person is. You miss the true depth of who they are as a person. And while that depth may be terrible and their actions abhorrent, if you disrespect the fact that they are just as human as you are, you will never be able to learn anything from them. And understand that I'm not saying learn and replicate exactly what they've done, but rather learn who you are in the face of such actions. It does nothing to label Felix a Nazi and demand that everyone agree with you. That doesn't create dialogue, that doesn't encourage people to learn, and that definitely doesn't lead people to help. Does that mean you have to like and support him? Hell no. Condemn his actions all day long, but never forget that we are all equal, and a label does not summarize the entirety of who we are. I know this won't seem satisfying as a proper response, considering I didn't counterpoint the evidence you provided, but I'm not arguing against you about those facts. Yes, evil exists. Yes, bigotry exists. Yes, people are murdered for it every day, and I'm fighting against it. Whether you believe that or not, I'm fighting the same fight as you. Even if you think I'm naive, not fighting hard enough, defending the wrong people, I will still encourage you all to show each other the respect you would want for yourselves. So for those of you who've gotten to the end of this long post and feel that I'm still wrong and completely missed the point, that's fine. If you think I'm a terrible person for my opinion of Felix, that's fine too. I'm proud of what I'm doing with my life, and I'll continue to fight for good and the equality of all, and I'll continue to learn. Just remember that if we want the world to be truly equal, we must all treat each other with respect. Mark talks too much. Applier. So yeah, Twitter is mad at Markiplier over stuff that happened 5 years ago, and Markiplier's past self basically responded to everything. Yeah, Twitter is so stupid. Bye. Haven't seen enough? I got you. Check out this video right here. I'll see you over there.